Dear viewers, let's get ready to do this one more time. The ARC Touring Car Cup takes its final stop on the tour at the Tokyo Expressway for the crown jewel of ATCC, and it looks like we're already in the middle of the race. I assure you, this is the start of the qualifying session, about 40 seconds delayed because I had to type in the stream title. Who was actually the first car on... It's not you. A very out of control, crashing... Never mind. Oh, it's gonna be chaos. It's gonna be, Stefan Robichaud is actually gonna be the first driver to, get the qualifying session underway after, Alexander Brown, absolutely lost control through the, lovingly named Death Chicane. I mean, it's actually the Dragon Trail one that's called that, but this is just as deadly, depending on what cars you're in. Group 4s are among the best suited to attack those curbs, but that doesn't mean that they are, you know, impervious to them. Do not even think of getting that twisted. Let me hit the hairpin. Genesis will be among the best cars on the way out of here, as it's four-wheel drive, and it's basically the only four-wheel drive vehicle that's been competitive based on, well, mostly its driver lineup. One of whom has been complaining about the performance of the vehicle basically non-stop, but, you know, still doing better than all of the Subarus and Evos on the track, for the most part. Flat out for about 30 seconds straight until we reach the highest point of the circuit and merge onto a different part of the expressway. And now the chicane. Can Robichaud navigate it well? The Genesis has been shown to be a little wiry off of curbs. Oh, he brushes the outside wall. That's going to hurt his lap time for sure. I'm already coughing. This is a great start. A damaged Robichaud will start the session off with a 43.5, instantly toppled by many vehicles, including his own teammate, who will set a 42.25 for the benchmark of the session. Slipstream definitely benefiting the Canadian driver there on the way to setting that kind of lap time. With Regal Auto, previous week's pole sitter, not being able to match that. Although he might be in slipstream range of Robichaud, if not now, maybe on the way out of the hairpin if he can take it well enough. I'll go on board with him. He is going to actually straight up miss the hairpin and let his teammate through, so he's going to then get walled by AJ Knickel as the laws of physics just kind of concertina cars up towards the wall there. Oh, Logan Cool's listening to the pit lane. Darius is spinning in the background. The rear-wheel drive will do him no favors on the way out of this hairpin. I can tell you that right now. And Matt Papusoy is absolutely flying. He's making his singular start this season at the final round in a Mazda 3. And he is immediately showing why the rest of the league is lucky he's not a full-time competitor. Barely breaking into the 41s, a 9.99. Next goes is Boryoshi, who topples AJ Knickel's lap time with a 1.77. Oh, Ridwan getting a little bit tight there. He finds the outside retaining wall. We are sending nobody home today in the final round, with absences from Pat Maher and both of the ECR drivers who are routinely appearing. AJ Knickel has defeated the Mazda with the 41.8. Looks like some slipstream assistance from his teammate probably has contributed to that success. He's a half a tenth down in Sector 1, dirty air. A little bit harsh through there, but he's going to make that up now. And he's probably going to usher Frenchie to do the same. I don't know. I wonder if maybe they'll execute a position swap of some description. Maybe give Robichaud some slipstream on a second run to help him up the board, as he's only 7th at the moment, despite being the first driver to complete a lap. Or perhaps AJ is just bump drafting with him. That seems to actually be what's going on here. Bump drafting in GT4 cars was not on my bingo card. Maybe it should have been, though. I get on the brakes for the fast right-hander. Robichaud understeers dramatically, and both of those laps have been officially called off right there. Very interesting setup with where the pit lane is. Means you don't really have to worry about making a full outlap. Your outlap is just the run from the pit lane to the start-finish line. The opening S section in the hairpin, you don't even have to take. So outlaps are about 30 seconds quicker than a timed lap. Improvements going up for both of the CL7 drivers, who are also driving in tandem. Curiously, the faster lap went to Hannick, who was leading the duo, rather than Luke, who was getting the slipstream, but I guess was also getting the dirty air, so it evens out in its own way. I think there may have been some kind of mistake on that lap for Logan Poole. I'm pretty sure 49.2 is not his true pace. And Kevin Kepley has only just begun his first time lap of the session with minutes to go. AJ Knickel once again paired up with his teammate, attempting to grab a toe down the very long backstretch, but is bottlenecked by his teammate not keeping the same momentum through the fast little S there. An improvement for Yoshi. Ridwan finds himself in P4. Regalado still struggling to find the pace he demonstrated last round. And he is on an outlap or something. He's not going at full speed either way, so he must have backed out of this. Logan, he's trying to get a drafting partner, that's what he's doing, but he's going to regret picking that one, I think. Robichaud with the 42.6 benefits from his teammates pushing him this time. Luke Allen finds an improvement that gets him right up to where his teammate is, just ahead of him actually, about 3.5 hundredths between them. That is not going to help the lap time any, though. Another penalty for Logan Poole, another lap invalidated, and that will end his session unless he can absolutely haul the mail around this outlap. That's going to be cutting it very close, but we have seen sub-minute 10 outlaps, so I think it's theoretically possible he can get around and make one more shot at a competitive time. Kevin Kepley with a 45.4. I also know that that's not his absolute best either. The chicane is very much beating some people up right now. Some guys are just not able to cope with what it's doing to them. Yoshi's session is over. He's not getting back around in 42 seconds. Now AJ Knickel makes the overtake and proceeds to then miss the turn. So they're going to give he's going to give Robichaud one shot at improving his spot from 5th. He's already gotten a better lap in, but now that he's the one in the tow, perhaps we'll see if either one of them can go faster. AJ Knickel has a 10th or so in hand over Papusoy in the Mazda 3, but he's actively on his way up the hill to try and make one last attempt at it. He's basically dead even, but he doesn't have slipstream to help him. Excuse me, weird hiccup thing there. I think my mouth just tried to take a screenshot or something. On the brakes for the final chicane, attacking every inch of them, too much of them as a matter of fact. That's going to be his session done. He is not defeating AJ Knickel with that. So pole is relatively safely in hand for the Canadian driver, as Ridwan also extends that same chicane, scurries out of the way of the pair of Mustangs that have not made the same mistake. They will be the last thing that can challenge AJ Knickel's pole lap time. And it is no contest. It's an improvement for Legal Auto, but only to 8th. Alexander Brown does jump to 2nd with the slipstream, but he cannot. He is 1,000th off of AJ Knickel. At this point now, his only threat is his own teammate. Unless Jonas Idkun has an absolute, like, miracle of a lap in the works right now, we're right on board with him in C. Skips the second curb. He manages to exit the corner correctly. But he might improve, I'm sure. I just don't think he's going to find a second, and a second. Actually, he's not even close to improving. Never mind. Logan Cool gets one more lap in. I lost track of him there he is, 45.7. So he defeats Kyle Voiles and no one else. And that wraps up the session. AJ Knickel, your pole sitter, by exactly 1,000th. And now we wait. And while we wait, I'm going to have a drink from this absolutely gargantuan bottle of water next to me. 34 fluid ounces. It's over a quart of water here. Actually, it's a liter of water. I've never seen a liter-sized bottle of water in my life. It's kinda nuts. Session should be over in about 10 seconds. And then we will jump straight into racing action. I believe we should. Excuse me, I did not get to the mute button in time to clear my throat there. Okay, no we don't. I don't know what I'm talking about. I guess now is as good a time as any to advertise that, well, in exactly 7 days we will be back. GT7 doesn't really take a break, it seems. Immediately after we wrap things up for ATCC, we will be getting started on the ARC Group 3 Masters, a season highly anticipated by everybody except Logan Cool, who doesn't really like how often Group 3s are driven. And that's the only thing we use twice in a single season. I can see the point, kinda. But at the same time, I also know he only says that because he thinks he'd do better if he could drive his LS engine-powered Mazda Miata in a race. And he can't do that when ARC is, restricting races to actual racing cars? And here we go with the formation lap. And me coughing again. My lungs are just not prepared for today. AJ Knickel is your pole sitter. Alexander Brown directly behind him, followed by Matej Papusoy, Boriyoshi, Ridwan Hamza, Stefan Robershad, Jonas Itkunen, Rodrigo Regalado with a very uncharacteristically mediocre performance in qualifying. Luke Allen, we have 9, 10, and 11 occupied by CL7. Luke Allen, Connor Hannick, Kevin Kepley. Joel Grant, 12th. Logan Cool. What? Did you not go, or did you spin? I don't know. Joel Grant, then Logan Cool, then Kyle Voiles. Darius in the Mustang lines up in there somewhere, but he seems to have had a bit of a moment on this formation lap, and he is trying to catch up to the queue. I don't actually remember where he qualified. Part of me wants to say it was like 10th. But don't, I'm not, you know, don't quote me on that. He may have also been told to stay at the end of the line since he did spin out under, say, under formation lap conditions of his own accord without being hit by anybody else that would send him on his way, so to speak. Which looks like that may be what's happening, because I know he didn't start in last. Or he didn't qualify in last, I should say, excuse me. And yet he is continuing to sit behind even Kyle. Lungs, we really got to get this sorted out here. We've got like 30-something laps of racing to do, and I'm already coughing up a lung before we've even taken the green flag tonight. Hey there, Billy. I had to think for a second. My brain associates Astonic with not. My brain associates you with your name. I'm not good with usernames. Somehow I'm better with actual names after so much time spent commentating. Not sure how we're gonna go too wide through the death chicane here. Even on the formation lap, I feel like that's gonna be a little difficult. I guess we shall see. And as soon as we have left the last turn, it will be up to AJ Knickel to determine when we will take the green flag for the final week of the ARC Touring Car Cup Challenge Championship. 7 rounds of this, you'd think I'd know the actual acronym by this point instead of just kind of saying forget it close enough. And we are green. AJ waits basically till the grid slots to go, and we are away for the final week of the ATCC. Papusoi was picked off in qualifying by the Mustang, but he will like to take that back immediately. And a bit of wall contact from Alexander Brown will allow him to do so with ease. Everything basically single file behind them, except we've got Kevin Kepley fending off Logan Cool, who's had an impressive start. He's gotten ahead of Joel Grant from the outset. He might get ahead of Kepley if he can be diligent under braking just here. And he has the inside lane. They're both four-wheel drive. He does have the spot on Kepley, who actually has lost more time and lost the position to Darius, who's recovering from his formation lap folly. And as I was watching that, I was not expecting Papusoi to just immediately jump to a half a second lead, overtaking AJ Knickel presumably on the way to or out of the hairpin. And now Knickel has Alexander Brown literally trying to knock his rear wing off with how close he is to him. That is literal bump drafting at that point. Yoshi's feeling adventurous. Down the inside of the Mustang, he will go. Just about keeps it off the wall, but washing up on exit is going to allow Alexander Brown to take it back down to the death chicane at full speed for the first time. And the top cars are all just about surviving. Logan Cool, and oh god, that's a lot of damage to multiple vehicles. It has not been nearly as clean or calm for the back half of the field, but nobody's been around or anything, so they're just going to have to exist with that damage until it goes away. The first penalty of the race is grabbed by Robichaud, who presumably may have taken too much curb or something. Wall contacts for multiple cars, but no damage sustained for any of them. Regal Auto also has a penalty, so that'll be an eventual position for Connor Hannock and Luke Allen. But Hannock's not waiting. He's going to go down the inside now, and he will have better acceleration than the Mustang. And courtesy of being four-wheel drive, his momentum will stall out eventually because the Mustang has the power advantage, but then again, he's also about to have to slow down soon, so at the end of the day, that doesn't really matter what happens on this straightaway. Unless they crash, that might matter. Ridwan versus Alexander, too wide through the flat-out S section. Bit of wall tapping from both of them, but they just about survive for now. Man, that 20 car is unrivaled right now. Oh, that's a big moan for Jake Nickel. The Curbs have fought him and won, and that's collected Boryoshi as well. Through goes Alexander Brown and Ridwan, as Robichaud serves his decel, as does the Mustang, putting him behind Connor Hannick and behind Luke Allen as well. So he's lost 2 places for that half-second decel. Meanwhile, Robichaud, I don't believe, lost any. Not all penalties are created equal in the world of Gran Turismo 7. I think that's been a well-known thing for some time now. And after AJ Knickel's mistake, the 20 car is out to a 3-second lead over Alexander Brown. Like I said, we are, I think, lucky that Papusoy is not even a part-time driver and is at best a wild card, making his singular start of the season at the final round. Doesn't look like there's anybody with any massive advantage, though Regalado has reclaimed his 9th place over Luke Allen. Hannick is looking to increase that another place. He's gotten right up to the back of French Robichaud. Just because the name was on my screen. I don't know why his username is the only one that my brain does that with. Probably because it's the simplest one. That isn't, like, literally just their name, like Boryoshi, whose name is just Boryoshi. That is a lot of curb for Alexander Brown. That's a mighty save. But it may have just lost him more time to Ridwan behind. We'll go on board with the Scirocco driver. He's probably getting plenty tired of seeing that light blue Mustang back end this season. He would like to be ahead of it right here, I'm betting. He's going to take a peek on the right, but he is going to think better of that maneuver. There will be other opportunities, I'm sure. Oh, that is a very understeering Connor Hannick. He will not be able to be attacking Robichaud that way. And now Regalado is right there to attempt to make him pay. If we can get a good run out of this fast left, he has done so. I think the pay window is about to open for the 22 car. Hannick defends, Regalado forced the long way around. That'll allow Luke Allen to invade the territory sideways for the 22 car. And he's trying to contend with 2 cars who will never have to worry about getting sideways under throttle conditions. But he will hang on to 9th, with Luke not having much momentum, although now he's got slipstream, so that could change. But we'll instead turn our attentions to more of the front of the field, where actually there's really not much happening. Yoshi is bump drafting his teammate. That's what's happening, to try and get him up to Alexander Brown. Never mind, Yoshi is trying to... Well, he was trying to go for the overtake, but he backed out of it as well. Another big slide for Alexander Brown. All 3 of these cars tagging the outside barrier. Yoshi's not waiting. He's going to send it on the brakes at the death chicane. There's been chaos behind them. Robichaud turned around. Has to go halfway down the track the other direction just to safely make a U-turn. That's more of a J-turn. And that's been sketchy for Kepley as he attempts to get back going again. The goofy cinematic camera at the death chicane really didn't give us any clue as to how or why Robichaud went around. If there was contact or if he just locked the brakes or something. I don't think that he really locks the brakes like that, though. So I think that another bumper was to blame, but the camera didn't help us figure it out. Yoshi is starting to make good on his escape plan. He's got his team owner in the wheel tracks of the Mustang, meaning Alexander Brown cannot afford to be too aggressive if he wants to get back up there, or he is just going to find himself attacked by the other Volkswagen in his mirror. Although that half-second penalty is going to make all of that a moot point. AJ Knickel, who has really fallen off with the lack of top speed, and also his, moment over the curbs earlier, that's actually the real reason why he's down here in 6th. He's gonna get right up to Itkonen. Can he generate enough of momentum to try a run down the inside? That answer is a no. He may not even want to yet. He may be trying to bump draft his way up to Brown and Hamza. Ridwan got ahead of Brown on the straightaway, or into the corner afterward, but this half-second decel is going to lose him that spot once again, and could bring him right back to AJ Knickel, who apparently got past Itkonen. As I was saying, he may not be trying to pass him, and make a liar out of me, why don't you? It'll bring him right back to Knickel, but he will be under no threat to lose the place. Regalado has finally overtaken the pair of CL7 and Lancers. Answers. Can you find the answer? Oh, he can't find the breaking point. Luke Allen gonna try and go back around him, but will proceed not to. The lead escalates. Papusoy may have been caught lacking slightly in the qualifying session, but a 6.5 second lead over Boryoshi shows that he obviously has the race pace concept down pat. Red one sizing up another move on Alexander Brown. Losing a bit of momentum up the hill, though, which is kind of weird. I think he may have let off so as not to basically throw his line off in the S's, because that would just lead to both of them crashing. AJ Knickel joins the party as he brakes a little aggressively for this right-hander, I would say, by the looks of it. What in the world is AJ doing on that line? What? Did he slide again? Did he hit another curb? Probably, considering that Genesis has reacted to them. It'd come in with another half second that he got in the death chicane there. That won't really threaten him any, because Regalado is 3.5 seconds away. That is only going to cause him to lose the top, second through fifth. Kepley had some kind of disaster on lap 5. Was not privy to this occurring. But a 2-minute 8 lap time means he must have gone like all the way around. On board with the Australian driver who is using the slipstream to try and get back to within striking distance of the Mustang. He won't be able to do anything now, but, he has to get up to his bumper before he can do anything. Especially as Brown tags the outside wall once more, but, Ridwan and anybody with two brain cells will know. As he Scandi flips it through the chicane or probably clipped too much curb. But that was not dive bombing range. However, this is definitely overtaking range for the one car if he chooses to take the opportunity. It looks like he's not, though. Still nothing doing. And there's really not a lot of action anywhere on the field, admittedly. And there will be no pit cycles in either race, I don't think, so it's not like that's going to shake anything up later. Some cars may have to do some small amount of fuel saving, but I think that's about the most they'd have to do this race. Ridwan takes a peek. He's forced to the outside, but I think actually Alexander just let him pass. Tired of being under pressure from the one car behind, now it is his turn to try and apply pressure to who I believe is already the champion of the season in the form of Ridwan. If he isn't already mathematically the championship, I think beating AJ to the line here would seal the deal, going into the true final race of the season. The difference between Popusoy and Yoshi is coming down. I believe the Mazda driver made a mistake on the previous lap of some description, cost him 2 seconds and change. And Yoshi ran some of his fastest laps of the race in the last 3 laps. So he's not out of it yet. And he's got a purple sector, so he is continuing to find speed on the racetrack. Brown letting Ridwan go by has really only served to put him in range of AJ Knickel behind. And a missed hairpin, I don't know if that was a lockup or if that was oversteer off throttle, from the Mustang driver will only make things easier for the 47 car to take that spot back. And watch the rear camera and AJ's normal onboard perspective to see if he keeps the Mustang away and if he's gaining any time on that Scirocco, and he is, but it's very, very minuscule time. AJ receives a bump draft there from Alexander, but he understeers through the chicane. He's not able to get the car to rotate, and he will lose the place to Brown because of that. Although Brown did also just grab a half-second decel from doing so. I'm not sure if that was an avoidance or if he was only able to get to where he did by making a line that was illegal. Taking the line, excuse me. Regal Auto is slowly reeling in, piece by piece, Ed Cunnin. Their lap times were only a couple hundredths apart on the last lap, though, so that is going to be very much a slow burn attempt at getting up to the back of that Volkswagen if things continue as they are. This would be a race to forget for the 06. There's no doubt about that in my mind. But it's been even worse for Kevin Kepley in, I believe, the 5? Running dead last after what happened on lap 6 has continued to haunt him. And his lap times have not been improving. He's still stuck in the 45s, just like the other drivers around him on the track. We do have Joel Grant up to the back of Kyle Voiles, which could turn into an overtake any time now. And if I don't sound super excited, it's simply because my throat is too hoarse at the moment. I need like a very long session of taking a drink. Grant to the outside. Kyle Voiles puts up 0 resistance. That was a transition. Very accidental on my part, but it didn't make it look any less cool. And here comes the decel for Alexander Brown. That is definitely within range to lose the position to AJ Knickel. There's the decel. And ahead goes the Genesis. The field spread in this race is absolutely nasty. I will just say that much. Matty's found his footing again. He's back into the 42s. As is his closest competition, only competition I would probably say, in the form of Yoshi. 4.5 seconds between the pair of cars. Yoshi is only slightly closer to Ridwan than he is to the leader of Papu Soy at the moment. A bug just landed on my cheek and has paid the price for that, you fool. 5-second contact penalty to that random gnat that decided that I was a good landing spot. Absolutely done. I need a drink. Maybe the drink will have to wait. Regal Auto has rapidly approached his location. A 42.9 in hand for the Mustang has brought him right to the tail end of that 46 car. Does he get adventurous? I think he's fuel saving at the moment, actually. He does not get adventurous, not here. He may just be waiting for the hairpin if he thinks he can get through the S's faster than that Volkswagen. Because trying anything at that braking zone there against a Scirocco would be an unnecessary risk, considering how much quicker those things are in a straight. Of course, getting by Idkonen at the hairpin would leave him vulnerable to that same fact, because then the Scirocco would just get the slipstream and would just drag itself back past. He also did not have the final sector that he needed to stay close to him going back to the S's again. So there may not be any opportunity there at all at the current moment. He did just find like 3/10 through the S's though, in that change of direction that Idkonen could not seem to get the car to rotate for. 3/10 though, not really dive bomb distance for any sane driver. And so it is, Regal Auto will abstain. Very good exit though, he's actually made contact on the way out. A 10th between them. This is going to be the actual battle for the position. Regal Auto tucks back into the draft, just for a little taste, before potentially using it to get by, or he'll continue to bump draft, which would be kind of silly, because he'd be pushing Idkonen up to his own team owner. Or no, teammate, excuse me. His team owner's in last. Teammate in the form of Alexander Brown, who's up here. Still no attempt from Regal Auto. He is very much biding his time. I don't know if he's waiting for the best opportunity or if he's waiting for an invitation to a Christmas party before he goes for the pass. But, I mean, he's got to try it eventually, right? And Idkonen is clearly feeling the pressure. He's made a bunch of small mistakes since we started watching this battle. The lead again down to within 2/10 between the two cars. So another would-be chance for Rodrigo to grab the place, which he proceeds to not take. Now, Dirty Air absolutely whooped him right there. That's going to lose him some momentum for sure. Yeah, he will have no momentum heading towards the hairpin. Excuse me again. Gap down to 4 seconds. But it's very much regulating at the moment. That was a not great lap from Papusoy on the previous time around, and that is the reason why. His tires also starting to take a bit of heat, while Yoshi's are still relatively good. I think his tires will be good to the end, but his left front might be a little sketchy on the last lap or two. And I say might with like a lot of asterisks, because it very well could not be okay. Regal Auto just so much better than Idkonen out of the hairpin. He's able to get the power down effectively, which front-wheel drive cars just struggle at those lower speeds, but Regal Auto's just doing nothing. He's just piling on the pressure and just being very passive-aggressive in his approach to trying to take 6th place away. His best course of action seems to be inaction, and just seemingly wanting to just watch the Finnish driver squirm in his headlight cone. Another good run off the last turn. Just under 2/10. It's going to be about 1/10 and a half by the time we arrive at turn 1. Regal Auto doesn't seem intent on taking any kind of risks. I mean, I guess that's not exactly, you know, it's smart racing, I suppose. man, it's kind of boring as the commentator. Go for it. Send it. Get the spot from him. Another good run heading down towards the hairpin, a 10th between them. But he's not pulling alongside. He has no interest in taking the spot away yet. He has had so many chances, so many bountiful opportunities. But I guarantee you his teammate is going to see AJ Knickel's current state of affairs with that half-second pen, and he will not be hesitating to take this spot away. Quick glance further back. Joel Grant versus Logan Cool for 12th, a pair of Subarus from different teams. Kyle Voiles is also with them. I hate to say it, this is the most pace the Mustang has shown all season, as he's fighting for 12th. Door banging on the way down the hill, costing them both momentum. I think they're also maybe both trying to save their tires at the moment. Logan Cool got damage from their contact on the way down the hill. They get more contact. Kyle Voiles is watching in the background to see if these two continue to do this. Logan Cool is either shouting expletives or he's having the time of his life for 12th. It's hard to tell with him sometimes the kind of close quarters combat he prefers. Logan Cool emerges 12th for the moment, but his momentum is stalling on the way up the hill. Voiles doesn't know where to go. He sees Grant down the inside, but giving enough space for a Mustang if he wanted to put it there. But Voiles knew better than to try. A very bad exit there puts Cool at a disadvantage heading towards the death chicane. Logan wants to back out, and Voiles mercifully gives him the space to back out of that too wide before things get even more catastrophic. Oh, that left front is not happy. Oh my lord, Matty. He doesn't seem to be doing anything to limit the amount of steering input he's putting on the car. He doesn't seem to care that the tires are dying. Almost as if a challenge. He wants them to try him. He wants them to die on him. Of course, when we were watching the battle for 12th, on the assumption that there was nothing happening up here, that's when Rigo Auto's finally like, okay, now I'll pass you. Where was that the 3 straight laps I watched you wait for your chance? Voiles down the inside. They're 3 wide at the hairpin. And that door is closed. Voiles never had a realistic shot of making anything happen there. Kepley is going to make his way up to this fight as this thing goes on. Battle is not over, but I think the real battle is between the Subarus and their left front tires. Fuel tank not a concern. Still at about 40% tank, and we've only got 3 laps of racing left to do. But that left front tire on both of their cars is shouting in pain. The door is closed on Logan Cool. Doesn't stop him from going down the inside, whiffing the braking zone, and finding himself in the outside wall again. He will not attempt an overtake. He really physically can't attempt an overtake under those conditions. The lead is staying the same. He's not losing time yet. The tire wear isn't that bad on the Mazda 3. Just yet, but I think by the end of this lap he is going to start feeling the difference. He's already kind of feeling it, but it's going to actually lose him pace over Yoshi as his tire will be in better shape. Ridwan is also just kind of there. Alexander Brown's been off the pace in the latter half of this race. AJ Knickel possibly there to take it back. But that is a very bad long right-hander for both cars, so it'll even out, ultimately speaking. Rico Auto is catching them both, but it's not going to be in time, I don't think. Robichaud back up to the rest of the field. He's behind Darius. After his absolutely just tragic spin early on in the race, he's finally rejoined civilization. And he's looking for that spot on that wildcard Autosport Mustang, the only wildcard automobile to start this race. It's not going to be much of a battle, though. That 1 second decel is going to absolutely just destroy him. Grant has finally obtained breathing room from Logan Cool. Kyle Foyles is close to the back of the 83, but his half-second decel will put him back out of range. I don't think AJ Knickel's going to be close enough to try anything here. Oh, he might actually be. Oh, he will be, indeed. Down to less than a tenth. He's going to be forced the long way around, but the momentum is going to basically carry him halfway ahead anyway. They carry on too wide through the right-hander. The inside lane prevails. Alexander Brown retains fourth. AJ Knickel's going to have one more shot like that, assuming he gets over the curbs well on both laps. He gets through there fine for now. So the battle will continue on to the final lap of the race. Papusoy has a penalty and has definitely run out the existence of his left front tire. But with the 4-second lead in hand, it will not matter. You would have to physically miss one of these right-hand turns. There's only 2 more to go on the lap before it doesn't matter anymore. It was just that early part of the race. Papusoy just had huge momentum going off at the start of the race that nobody could really keep up with. And by the time Yoshi was unleashed and had the track to himself, that lead was nearly 8 seconds. It's been cut in half by now. But it's a day late and $1 short for the FR Racing duo. Meanwhile, it's not too late for AJ Knickel to inch his way past the Mustang. Brown would be smart to give up on the way through this little kink. He doesn't give up. He keeps a splitter there sideways for the 13. Now he tucks in. Now he'll get a little bit of slipstream and try to get 4th place back as we head through this right-hander one more time. Pulls to the outside. He has to take the long way around, just as he forced Knickel to do on the previous lap. And he is certainly going to try, basically drifting his way through that turn. Papusoy, half-second decel, will only shorten the margin of victory. Victory for the Mazda, 2-3 for FR Racing. And it looks like AJ Knickel will hold off the 13 car and claim 4th place after taking pole. But an incident over the classic Death Chicane will relegate him to P4. Looking like an 8, potentially an 8-9 for CL7. That decel for Hannick is going to make this a drag race to the line. No, well, it is, but not for him. Luke barely keeps the Canadian driver at bay. Darius 11th. Joel will narrowly hang on to 12th by the looks of things. Logan Cool is not so safe, though. He's got Kevin Kepley in his mirrors, and he's going to have to keep him there for a couple more turns with a left front tire that can take him no further. Outside wall for Kepley, though, I think will seal that so long as Logan's car behaves. Gingerly through the final chicane, Logan survives, and just the momentum of the Subaru on its own should be enough to keep him in 13th across the start-finish line. Indeed. Despite everything, Voyle still ends up walking away with a damaged left front car, left front fender, and last place. Yes, the left... As opposed to the right rear car, Brain? Come on. And that does it for the first half. We're only halfway done tonight. We still got another 18 more laps of racing to do before we are done for ATCC. That's not the button for spectate. In the meantime, while they get the grid randomized, I absolutely need this drink. Well, if you want your thumbnail shot, here you go. I should put the cap on it back on that. That would probably be a good idea. Apparently Kepley has left the room, and also Logan Cool hates everything with the way that he was kind of battered around by Joel Grant near the end of the race. Oh, you're just feeling ill or sick or something. Oh, just not gonna lie, that kind of startled me. My brain just started registering the Mazda as background noise, and then it was just stripped from me. Alright, background noise. We back. We are so back. It is very Mazda over. Actually, I think that joke would work better for the Volkswagens. It's so Chirac over. Get comfortable in my chair for what will be the final race of the season. It's hard to really feel like we're really... yeah, it's the end of the season, but it's not like anything is going anywhere. I don't know where he's going. Like, we are gonna get back to racing... Come on, Logan, get real here. We're gonna get back to racing in exactly a week from now. It's not like anything is taking a break. It's literally just, we're done with this championship. It's not really very climactic because Ridwan has the title in hand by this point, I'm fairly certain. Take a look at what he did! The game didn't even yell at him for that. Oh, well, that's the e-brake. That's what that's gonna do, yeah. We're just gonna cut the feed. We're just gonna look at AJ, who is noticeably not trying to be Ross Chastain. Should I have a watermelon themed car for our Group 3 livery, Logan? Okay, Brown must have had some kind of, like, small issue or connectivity hiccup, because he is back. That was the final shot. So the randomizer has decided that Papusoy is going to have to work for this one. Red One, AJ, Alexander, Boryoshi, Papusoy, and Rigolato is the last driver to get randomized here. And the rest of the grid is as they finished in the first half. I don't feel like I really need to call it anything other than the first half, because it's not like it's the sprint or feature race. We're on the same track on both rounds, and they're both the same number of laps. Let's not get too comfortable, me. I might start zoning out on me here. Yes, I'll zone out on myself. That is how that works. I don't commentate well if I'm not focusing at all, you know? Just simply put. Some days I don't commentate very well, even when I am focused, so... I just have on days and off days. On days where I'm at the edge of my seat like I'm in the prime of my commentary career, and others where I just kind of sound like a fool. It is time to double up one more time. I think, anyway. Yeah, here we go. Venture over the curbs, and then anytime after the last turn, Red One will lead us to the green for the final time in this ATCC season. That was a lot of C noises. At your leisure, Mr. Australian Man. And we are green for the final time. Red One is away and clear. And it looks like AJ will also be clear. So the first contest will be between Yoshi and Brown, and that's going to be settled pretty easily in favor of the Volkswagen. Papusoy has had a bad start. He is under threat from several cars. Connor Hannick, four-wheel drive acceleration, has brought him up to possibly 6th if he can get this move done down the inside. He does. So Rigolato and Hannick have both claimed a position over the Mazda 3 at the very start. Robichaud thought about going 3 wide there, as Papusoy just kind of slightly door bashes Connor Hannick to get back to 6th position. Just touring car racing, I suppose, more than anything. And we've got Kaneko versus Yoshi heading up the hill. Red One has this in his mirrors. He's trying to sit in front of his teammate, is Red One, to try and give Yoshi an advantage. He will do so, and he darn near brought Yoshi up to him if he wasn't careful. Yoshi could have had a chance at the lead there if he felt so encouraged. Instead, AJ is going to lose the spot both to Yoshi and to Brown for his attempt at taking the spot away from the 41 car. And Rigolato is absolutely there now. I don't know why I said it like that. Brown tried to take a shot around the outside of the final turn. That went about as well as I could have probably told you it would go. Not very. Nothing doing on the way into turn 1. Oh, that's damage to the Mazda 3. Very much missed that braking point. And Hanek followed him right through that line, so that's going to give an opportunity to Robichaud, who had a forgettable round one. Another very wide moment. Actually, yeah, no, there was Hanek that went wide there. His car's handling obviously encumbered by that. Oh, that is not how you exit that turn, Ridwan. I think your teammate's not gonna... Oh, never mind. Your teammate's gonna completely back out. And not force the issue. He doesn't have to yet, anyway, because the Knickel doesn't really have much of a run. So, nothing really matters in the grand scheme of things. We just have a 5-car train heading through the tunnel. And then we've got Papusoy desperately trying to get back up to said train and work on correcting his mediocre race start. That turn has many different ways to attack it. None of them necessarily feel correct, but none of them feel wrong either, so long as you don't hit a wall. Currently, the field seems to be split into 3 groups. We have the lead 5. We've got Robichaud leading Edkonen in a CL7 duo. And then we have just the back 4, who aren't really in a group together anyway. And then somewhere in the middle, stuck. Never mind, the 20 car is actually about to get his way back up to that lead train with a couple more good turns under his belt. I'd argue he's in it now that he's within slipstream range off the back of the 22, whom is going for an overtake on his own teammate on the way out of the hairpin, thus forfeiting both of their slipstream. So he's going to he's going to flash his headlights repeatedly at his own teammate. I could have sworn we put a rule against that, even if it is a teammate. I don't remember anymore at this point, I gotta be honest with you. 153 for the Mazda 3 up to the braking zone. That would not have been all that impressive until we had the BOP in. 153 was about the average before. Now, that's the highest we've seen all week. Somehow AJ Connect got ahead of Boryoshi. I didn't even notice that. I don't know how I missed something like that. I'm looking at this front train, and yet I just didn't notice. I don't know. Daytona! Never mind, Yoshi's trying to pass. He's gonna have to go the long way, though. AJ's not taking that. Oh, it's chaos in the back. The Mustangs are out of control as Papusoy tries to invade their ranks. This will separate them from the top 3 cars. Going forward with the Canadian drivers, see if, although the championship is already a conclusion, maybe he can just take one more win from Ridwan for the sake of pride. He has to get to him first, though, obviously. I mean, he's to him, but that's definitely not a passing range. 3.5 tenths back. Papusoy, he wanted to dive, he really did. Either that or he wanted to psych him out. I guess both kind of count as a dive, don't they? Oh, Brown is massively out of shape. Call it a code Brown at that rate. Inside of my ear itches. Down to less than 2/10. That's definitely overtaking range. And Matty knows it. Down the inside, the Mazda 3 goes. That's not even going to be much of a contest there. Crossover attack, though? Brown's not quitting. He just had a plan. Double crossover. Matty in the wall. There wasn't any contact there. That was just Papasoy juking himself out of position. And now Brown's teammate will have a chance to capitalize as well. He will not, though. Not there, anyway, although he might try a crossover on the way out of the hairpin. He will not, though. Oh, speaking of try, AJ Knickel is definitely close enough now. Bumper to bumper heading up the flat S's. There used to be a slight lift, and then they nerfed the living heck out of the power of these cars, and now it isn't. No attempt yet, though. Why did I think I saw... Oh, because, I think Itkunen was fending off Luke Allen. So I was like, I saw the leaderboard change for a second. Did I not? I don't remember how Brown got ahead of Matty after... actually, no, wait. Yeah, we saw that. Never mind. Matty smacked the wall. This time, he will try it again, and this time he will try not to hit a wall. No cutback attempts this time. Not even a chance left on the table for the 13 car. Bit of a scruffy run on the way out of the S's, though, so Alexander Brown does have another shot at the spot if he takes it. It looks like he's going to, or he's at least going to try. Down the inside, heavy on the brakes. Gets ahead at the apex, but Papasoy knew that was coming. He positioned himself differently to get a better run off. And now the spot should go the way of the Mazda 3. Though the Mustang is no slouch in a straight either, so it's not going to be a simple attempt. But I think he is fine to claim the spot and stay there. Massively defensive is the Mazda 3, though. He's paranoid of the Mustang and what it will try to do. Which was absolutely nothing at this instance, but... all this setting up for later. You would not dare. Yeah, that's what I thought. You're just visualizing the breaking point. Visualizing that Matty just got super sideways off the exit there. And we have hope in the taps. Ridwan is free and clear now. Knickel with a suboptimal pair of laps on laps 6 and 7. It's not been an arc race until I've had to mute the mic for a sudden, unexpected yawn for no real actually, I think the reason in this case is because I haven't actually eaten anything yet. So there's like... I see. Oh wait, no, that's right, he did tell me he'd probably have to, leave. Well, at least this time I know why he's left, and he still gets at least 14th place points. Oh, he is going for it. Down the inside goes Boriyoshi. No contact made. Advantage Scirocco. AJ hangs the car there, though. They're going to go too wide through the death chicane. Through the braking zone for it anyway. AJ thinks better of doing that, considering how how much his vehicle tends to disagree with the curbs there more than others. It is a 3-car dogfight for second place, while Ridwan is just able to just gently escape. They both had a run on Yoshi, but neither one could take it as they were too busy trying to compete with one another. And that is once more Papusoy in the outside wall at the S's. Just a different wall on a different section of the wall. That'll keep him away from third place due to that mistake. But obviously still plenty of time to take it, considering we were still actively fighting for it. We're only at the halfway mark of this round. At some point, I think Alexander Brown may have done team orders to allow Arrigo Auto, who's found more pace in the second, in the middle innings here, so to speak. And Robichaud is slowly creeping up on the pair of Mustangs. He's been quiet in the second race. We'll see if he stays silent forever, or if he may eventually have an answer for those two. Okay, Nickel's got an answer for Yoshi, though. That is a fair bit of overspeed, courtesy of Slipstream. They are 3 wide, heading into a 2-lane wide corner. And it's going to be AJ losing out to both cars there. Oh, don't do that. Papusoy, nearly gets into the back of Yoshi. I saw the timeline where that braking decision carried him right to the tail quarter panel. The tail quarter... Yes, the tail quarter panel, also the left front of his car. Or the left front car, I should say. Yeah, no, the left front of his car would have made sense to me. That's why you didn't say it that way earlier. Stefan Robichaud is officially there with the back of the Mustangs in 5th and 6th. Obviously, finding a way past is a separate epic journey, but he can see them. He can also see the outside wall, and he will now immediately fall back out of range. This race is like the logical extreme of the sequence of events that transpired in round 1. One guy gets out to a huge lead, second, third, and fourth fight over second for an amount of time. And now the lead is 4 seconds in Ridwan's hands. I forgot his name somehow. Squeeze applied. He does not want Papusoy getting by because he reckons if the first race is any indicator, he will not be seeing that Mazda again if he gets ahead. Some healthy amount of overspeed. Mazda has to try around the outside again. This has not gone well for Matty thus far in the race. He has not gotten the move done. At least this time he didn't hit anything, though. The two Mustangs are on an island. They're 1.7 clear of Robichaud, but still need to find 1.7 to get up to Kinnickel, Papusoy, and Yoshi. Going forward with the 47 car once again. We'll see what he sees, and we will see if there's a contest up towards the top of the hill at the Expressway interchange or not. Oh, there 100% will be. Matei forced around the outside once more by poor Yoshi. He probably knows the Mazda has been suffering from understeer this entire race. Papusoy not backing out. They're going to go too wide at the Death Chicane's breaking point. They're going to remain too wide. Papusoy is forced onto the rougher of the two lines, though, and AJ Knickel is going to get right up to the back of that 20 car. If you are the loser in a confrontation at the Death Chicane, you will lose big no matter what. Losing a second and change is probably the most minor loss we've seen, but that still put him out of range of Boryoshi, and well within range of AJ Knickel, with no slipstream to help him once we get it onto the back straightaway once again. All the while, the Mustangs are slowly reeling in the both of them, and Robichaud is slowly reeling in both of the Mustangs. Robichaud was the second fastest car on the track on the last lap, and there's contact as AJ took a shot at Papusoy down at the chicane. Hairpin. The chicane is later. Give that another, like, 30 seconds, Riker. We're not there yet. It is now less than a second between AJ and Regalado. If these two fight for much longer, they will allow themselves to be... they will allow the Mustang slipstream before they know it, and that's probably the last thing that either of them want to do. But that just seems to be the course of things here. Or I guess the course they're on. Or AJ could have another certified Death Chicane moment in the Genesis. Completely lose touch with Matej Papusoy. And find himself nearly getting run over by the stampede of Mustangs. He does have his teammate to play tail gunner, though. And it looks like he's going to need it. Alexander Brown squeezing the Canadian driver heading down the front stretch. But absolutely cooking it under braking. And he will not be claiming fourth place on this occasion. I'll go on board with the other Genesis. What does Robichaud see in this absolutely chaotic mess of a battle for fourth that's getting underway? Actually, it seems like Rodrigo's got the better view, as Brown is going to be once again forced the long way around. He is squeezing AJ to the bottom of the track. Very much roughhousing. Through goes his teammate. Through goes Rodrigo. Never mind, they remain too wide. Let's not use that camera. Eventually, Regalado concedes, tucks in behind his teammate. Brown, meanwhile, is back on AJ's bumper for like the third time. I was going to exaggerate that, but then I realized, wait, that's not the person, these are not the two that have been fighting this whole time. Another attempt around the outside thwarted by AJ, just placing his car well. How much longer can/will he keep that up? I don't think it'll be much longer. No, there's no overspeed there. I thought there was, but Brown did not have a run. He might now, but it's too late. Not going to stop him from trying around the outside once more, and once more, not getting the braking force or turning he needs to contest that corner through the middle part of the steering. Bumper to the back of the 47, moving AJ Knickel out of the way. Rodrigo darn near moving Alexander out of the way. It's all going to come to a head down at the hairpin. AJ defends again. Rodrigo sticking his nose down the inside of his teammate. Very wide for Brown, who's just struggling for control out there. And Robichaud will temporarily sit in 6th place. Now it's Regalado's turn to try and take a crack at that 47 car. There's not much doing up there. They are close, but they're not actively battling. Robichaud trying to seal the deal against Alexander Brown. Not having too much luck. That is very difficult to hold around the outside lane there. Absolute confidence in the correct amount of steering and speed. And Robichaud has therefore earned a chance down the inside. And he is up to 6th with that punctual move. You wouldn't do that. Rigoletto is doing that. Too wide through the death chicane. That went predictably. Massive amounts of door-to-door, fender banging. The 22 gets up to 4th place with that maneuver, and probably very mixed reactions on the face of AJ Knickel after that attempt. It wasn't dirty, but that is definitely aggressive, I need this place and I need it now type behavior. That will get some drivers seeing a tiny bit of red. It would certainly get me a little annoyed. Yoshi, once again, is the 2nd place, 4.1 seconds back from the leader. The only difference is that the leader this time is his team owner, and not Papusoy in the Mazda that's currently sitting in his rear view. When did this happen? When the heck did he get back ahead of him? There's nothing going on in the back of the field. Robichaud takes another shot, and it doesn't yield much yet. Knickel had a good run through that right-hander, and he's going to be able to slide back into 4th place at the braking point. Basically sweet revenge as he reclaims the spot in the exact same turn he lost it the last time around. Does Brown look for the pass, or does he look for the bump draft to try and help his teammate get back to the Genesis? I think he's leaning bump draft. Actually, I think he was leaning up against the wall that he bumped into on the way into the braking zone. I think he was trying to get alongside his team owner, actually, and there was no room. And that is why we made contact. Rigoletto basically forcing his way through at the exit of the S's. I don't really know how that even came to be. But another very touring car maneuver to the credit of the Peruvian driver. And AJ is instead having to defend it to make sure Alexander Brown doesn't take a second spot away. Sideways is the 22 on exit. And that is all of the invitation that the Genesis driver needed to try and once more reclaim 4th, but he's not alone. The other Mustang is basically shades of Talladega, that's in 2 days for the NASCAR Heat Cup Series, is going to basically arrow push Rodrigo to safety and try to get himself alongside AJ Knickel for an attempt of an overtake of his own. Sudden switch to the other side, blocking off Alexander Brown. They make more contact as AJ is going to have to try and go the long way around. He is forced into the wall, and chaos as the concertina behind them causes Alexander Brown to spin. Quick 360 and continue. That will knock Robichaud out of range as well in the chaos. Another outside wall tap for AJ Knickel. Papusoy sees an opportunity, but he cannot get to it. At some point, Ipkanen finally got ahead of the CL7 cars. They've had a decent pace. They've been able to keep faster cars at bay today, at least. We've not exactly been contending at the front, obviously, but, you know. Points for viability, I reckon. After that accordion effect at the top of the track, which is the south end of the track, so don't get that confused, but you know, the highest point elevation-wise, because that's an interchange, has left the middle, upper mid part of the pack very spread out, and AJ has no more no more opposition in his quest to reclaim 4th place away from the 32 car ahead of him. Defending into the kink is absolutely crazy work, Rodrigo. There's more to that name. Massively late braking down the inside, squeezing past. Somehow Knickel got that done, but he's not finished. Rodrigo's going to keep his splitter there, crossover administered. And AJ's powerless. He knows better than to try and contest that through the chicane of doom. Rigo Auto's approach is basically like tantamount to the I knew he'd lift because he's got a wife and kids at home type thing. He knew AJ would lift because he knows the Genesis is really high sprung off of higher curbs like that. Oh, I'm glad I looked here. Luke Allen actually took a shot at Itkinen here in turn 1. I say took. He is taking. He has taken a shot, and that's forced Itkinen offline. But Luke Allen got a piece of the inside wall. Itkinen has not had the pace I expected him to have here. He's sitting in 8th, fighting CL7, which has not really been his usual status this season. These two have feuded for so long that Alexander Brown has made his way back into the fight, so it's going to be a 3-car war when we take the white flag. Speaking of war, Papusoy is still trying to find that elusive overtake over Boriyoshi, who is just going all the way down. That's a bit of moving in the braking zone. I don't really think that one's on right there. AJ will not just simply out-drag the Mustang. That's the way to do it, I guess. It's not the way I expected it to get done. And nothing is final until we see the checkered flag in the air for these three. They continue to bang doors heading down the hill to the death chicane. Knickel just barely keeps it within the track boundaries, I think. Yeah, no, he's clear. It's actually Alexander Brown who grabs a half second, so that's going to knock him out of contention, but he can maybe place Spanner in the works if he's given an opportunity. He's actually given a full second decel. Robichaud might get that spot on him, actually, if he is not careful. I thought I saw the stupid scoreboard move again, but nope, my brain is just the big dumb. Oh no, it did move. What the heck happened to you, Rodrigo? Oh, that is a very wide moment at the hairpin for Alexander and for AJ. Let's see what Rodrigo can do with it. And he'll get back ahead of his teammate, who I don't think is going to put up much of a fight against his own teammate when he's got a full second decel on his name. On his name, to his name. Battle to the finish line for Proposoy versus Yoshi. The Mazda's forced the long way around for what feels like the 6th or 7th time this race. Crossover administered, lanes changing. Matty's trying to find a space, any space he can find. They make contact on the way out as Yoshi has to rejoin the racetrack. Is that the run off for Papusoy? I don't think it is. Why is Red One there? That is a very close... What in the world? Yoshi got the win at the very last second. What was Red One doing? What did he do there? So Yoshi wins. Was that a team order thing? AJ holds off 4th over Rodrigo. Then Robichaud, who's stolen 6th from Alexander Brown, as I expected after that penalty. Itkinen 7th, Luke Allen 8th, Connor Hannick 9th. I can't count or read. Itkinen is 8th, Luke 9th, Hannick 10th, Darius 11th. Joel Grant with a left front tire that maybe still exists will come home in 12th, and Kyle Voiles, who's still in the tunnel, will once again be relegated to last on the racetrack. I'm assuming there was some kind of team orders thing to help Yoshi move up the standings. I should probably check what those standings would have been. Either that or Ridwan just absolutely choked, like, generationally. But that has been it for the ARC Touring Car Cup. Successful season in the books. Ridwan, despite not winning this race, courtesy of what just happened, is still definitely the champion of the season. And AJ Knickel, try as he may have, it seems like these three are fighting even in the cooldown lap. That will wrap things up here, though. Up 3 spaces, or 3 places. Yeah, I wonder how that happened. Yeah, as I mentioned, ARC Group 3 Masters will start this time next week. In the meantime, shoutouts go to DIVEBOMB, who are our title sponsors, keeping track of motorsports news of all disciplines on various social media sites, and the Racing Rats, ARC's modding partners over on Assetto Corsa. Their mods are free, they're high quality, they're regularly updated when needed, and they are what keep the Assetto Corsa leagues going relatively smoothly. But I am literally starving. I have not eaten a single thing yet today, and it's starting to actually tax my body a little bit. So I need to get out of here. I will see you all for Group 3's Masters this time next Sunday.